Guys, exciting news. Even though sweaty season is almost creeping on out, except not here in Swamp Town where it's always dewy, moist. You can lather just by walking outside with a bar of soap. But exciting news, like really exciting news. Vanicream has stepped up to the plate and brought back their antiperspirant. They actually were able to make it happen. So Vanicream antiperspirant is like my go-to all-time favorite antiperspirant, fragrance-free, pretty gentle, aluminum salts to reduce sweat output, but it went away. I've been getting by certain dry, ooh, I made a rhyme there. I've been getting by with certain dry all summer, but I'm really happy to hear that Vanicream brought back their antiperspirant. Maybe, just maybe, if we all rally together, okay, and we pester them, maybe they will make the SPF lip balm a thing that comes back. That would make me oh so happy. Man, I'm really in a dancey mood this morning. I've got my Rolling Stones hoodie. It's cute. It's got all the tour, whatever. All right, coming in this morning with a little punch of something juicy. This is the 6-peptide skin booster serum from CosRX. All right, let me get my legs with the La Roche-Posay Melton Sunscreen Milk. All right, I just got my legs. Now I'm gonna come in with my face, to my face. All right, I got my makeup on and I'm dressed for the day. I'm wearing my cute little pearl earrings and this dress I got on the Amazonian. It's really comfortable. It's got pockets, little ruffle sleeve, and I went ahead and put this pretty antique gold finial. This was a gift from a friend of mine. So that Vanicream antiperspirant is awesome. Put it on at night. It works best when you put antiperspirant on at night because it just gives the ingredient time to get in the sweat gland. And then the following morning, I always get questions about this, but like, you know, I'm gonna bathe the following morning or take a shower in the morning or whatever. Aren't I gonna wash it off? At that point, it doesn't matter because whatever's on the surface of your skin at that point is not really doing you any favors. It works below the skin surface in the sweat gland, and it presumably had adequate time to get down in there overnight. Whatever's left on the surface of the skin, if anything, is just irritating or is adding a lot of fragrance that's sitting on the skin, which is kind of why a lot of products market themselves as antiperspirant deodorants, right? Like they have the aluminum salts for the antiperspirant action, but then they have a boatload of fragrance, which is, you know, deodorizing. Even though in my opinion, fragrance in underarm products, it tricks our brain into thinking that we are doing something to fight odor. And for a lot of people, when their sweat mixes with different fragrance mixes, it is not, it's better to just have BO at that point. It's better to just have au natural BO than to go with the fragrance mix sweat oddity. The point is, at that point in the morning, whatever's left on the surface of the skin is kind of more of a menace at that point because it's just more likely to give you underarm irritation because antiperspirants, the aluminum salts, no doubt, they can be pretty irritating to the skin. So you're free to actually rinse off the residue from the skin surface. It definitely can help cut down on irritation. But if you use antiperspirant correctly at night, you actually end up at a point not needing to use it every single night. You get that antiperspirant ingredient down in your sweat gland. It works, it reduces sweat output, and it lingers there for a couple of days. So you really only need to be using antiperspirants a couple of times a week. Whew, it is a hot one, but I'm at my favorite place. It's a good spot to cool off. All right, I need to know, what What is Jodi Picoult's secret? Is she some kind of superhuman? Because I swear, every time I turn around, she has like 7 new books out. I've only read one, My Sister's Keeper, and that was really good. But I feel like anybody that puts out books that much, like, that's impressive. The Book of Two Ways. Have you guys read this? Let me know. There's also Wish You Were Here, little bird on the front. I enjoyed My Sister's Keeper. It was a long time ago though that I read it. It's like they pulled out a lot of the classics and put them here on selective display. Love it. Scarlet Letter is a good one. The Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court is a really good read. I enjoyed Gulliver's Travels too. Maybe I'll get a classic. Nothing says escape reality like going back in time, pretending that you are on the high seas. Speaking of which, this is really good too. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And speaking of going back in time, not that one, but The Time Machine is a really good book. So is The Invisible Man. I don't remember much about The Invisible Man though. I could never make it through this. It kind of freaked me out. Love David Copperfield. Love pretty much anything Dickens. Oliver Twist, so good. Well guys, you know me. I can't leave the library without a book. I got The Horse Whisperer. I've always wanted to read this. I remember it being a really popular movie a long time ago, and I don't think I ever watched it, but it takes place in Montana from what I can glean, so I think it's going to be good because I really enjoy Montana. It's a beautiful state if you ever get a chance to visit. Let me know if you've read this though. And then also, let me know in the comments, were you into books about horses as a child? I was not. Like, I never went through a horse phase. A lot of girls did, and I was like, I don't really get the appeal. Yeah, I remember I had a couple of friends who were obsessed with horses, and I would always kind of have to like play along like I was interested in it, you know, for the sake of socializing. I didn't mind horses, but I was not like... I also have a friend who was really, really into horses all along, like had her own horse, and she grew up to be a vet, which she always wanted to be a vet, and that is what she is. Actually, come to think of it, I have 2 friends who are horse obsessed and grew up to be vets. The one I grew up with is, you know, a childhood friend who loved horses. Then my other friend was from Montana. That's how I had the opportunity to visit Montana, because I was in her wedding. She was, you know, really into horses, and she became a vet. So I guess it's kind of a gateway into becoming an animal doctor. I want to say she grew up on a ranch. Well, she grew up in Montana. I don't know that she grew up on like a ranch proper, but she grew up around that life. So I think that has a huge impact, you know, on a child's desire to go into veterinary medicine, I would imagine. As opposed to me, I had like some cats and a hamster, which my hamsters live a really long time. Looking back on it, I don't know how that hamster lived as long as it did, because it would get out of its cage like all the time, and it would be MIA for like days and days of time, and we'd all be stressed out about it, trying to find the hamster. He'd always go behind the refrigerator, and you know, they're nocturnal, so he would get out at night when I was asleep. He was like an escape artist. The hamster cages, at least at the time, they were like made out of plastic. I don't know. And he had this little turret that he could go up in, and you know, you could open up the turret and get him out of there. It was like a little, you know, tubes, and he had like a little room that he could go in. Well, he would figure out how to get out of that little turret, and he would hop out. I also had this ball for him that you could put him in the ball, and then he could go all around the house. And he managed to escape out of that too. I mean, he was Houdini, that little hamster. He lived a long time. When he finally did cross to the other side, if you will, bless his heart, he had what I presume to be either kidney failure or congestive heart failure, because this was rather, traumatic for me as a child. I remember, it was coming to the time where it was clear he was going to pass, because like I said, I had him for many years, and he swelled up really big, got real edematous, and was in a lot of discomfort. This was not like a prolonged thing by any means, but it was like, I want to say a day or so of him clearly uncomfortable. I don't recall ever once taking the hamster to the vet. Is that a thing? Was I a negligent hamster owner? I never took the hamster to the vet. Do they need to get shots? I'm asking these questions far too late. I don't recall taking hamsters to the vet being a thing. Vets were only for cats and dogs. And like I said, if you were into the horses and you happened to have one of those, then there was a vet, I imagine, for that. But yeah, cats and dogs were animals you took to the vet. But gerbils, hamsters, I don't remember people talking about taking them to the vet. So yeah, all that to say, I was not surrounded by, farm animals to sway me into veterinary medicine. I don't know. I like animals, but I'm not always wanting to get up close. Petting zoos as a kid, I was always no thanks. As a matter of fact, the one gal who really went horse crazy, she did the horseback riding lessons, but then she didn't end up becoming a vet. She became an engineer, I believe. She was horse berserk. Oops. She was horse berserk. Now, she went through an unfriendly phase, and I say that because I came across a thing on TikTok talking about girls who were into horses, or what is it about them? They always have a bit of a mean spirit. That wasn't my experience with the other girls, but this girl, I remember she had a bit of a bite to her, if you will. She had a birthday party at a horseback riding place, and that was the thing. We were all supposed to get up on a horse, and it was the saddest thing. They had these horses. It was like ponies, basically, and they had us all on a pony and going around in a circle. The horses were mounted on some metal. It was like a merry-go-round of actual little ponies that you could do. I did not enjoy that. Likewise, as a child, I was never into zoos. I liked going to zoos because going to the zoo meant a gift shop. And y'all know me, I like to go shopping. So I liked zoos because that was an excuse to go in a gift shop. But I was not, I could care less if the penguins came out for us to see. I was never into zoos as a child. I would go, but it was not I was not there asking, can we go to the zoo? Can we go to the zoo? I also had no interest in going to SeaWorld. I remember I had a friend who was all excited about going to SeaWorld, and they had a trip planned. They went to SeaWorld, and she came back, you could get your picture taken, and to me it was why would you want to go somewhere and have a large animal splash dirty water on you? What is the draw for that? I liked animals from a distance, but I was not interested in befriending them. And I have my allergies kind of act up around certain dogs. And the friend of mine, I had another friend who, she didn't become a vet, but her brother did. Dang, I know a lot of now vets. Her older brother became a vet. They had a dog. They had lots of dogs. They had golden retrievers. And the golden retriever used to make my allergies flare up, I remember. I don't know if it was the golden retriever or the fact that whenever I would go over to her house, we'd hang out in the basement. if it was a combination of the pet dander and like basement air that just would get me wheezing. And forget a bird. I never had any interest in a bird whatsoever. Liked them from a distance, but to have a bird in a cage, that always like seemed like way too much work. And I find on these forums, like neighborhood forums and things of that sort, I guess it's popular to have birds, and somebody will be like, have you seen a parakeet? My parakeet Petey got out. Like, what? How does parakeet Petey get out? I mean, that seems like a lot of responsibility to have a bird. We got this new place called Salad and Go. It's a freestanding little business. There's nowhere for you to sit in there, but you order your salad online and then you go through the drive-through. And then you go, hence the name Salad and Go. And I'm wondering how long that's gonna last here. I don't know if that's the only one, but I feel as though that is the kind of thing where I never see a line in there. You know, Whataburger, there's always a line out, you know, in the drive-thru. It's always packed. Chick-fil-A, always a massive line. Never do I see a comparable line coming out of Salad and Go. So I think Salad is gonna go. Well, I'm back, and when you know it, I just got nipped by a mosquito. Yeah, I was outside checking on the mail, and I got to chatting with my neighbor, and I felt a little itch. And sure enough, there it is, swelling up. That's just the inflammatory response. So as much as I want to scratch it, this is what I'm going to do instead. I have these hydrocolloid patches. They're great for a pimple. I'm sorry, there's an echo in here. These are great for keeping you from picking a pimple, allowing it to heal faster, but they also work really well on mosquito bites. Here they are, they're really thin. And I just take one and I pop it on there. And what it does is it almost acts as like a little barrier. Because see, when you get the bite, there's a lot going on in there with the inflammation. You get more transepidermal water loss. It really can aggravate the symptoms of itch. So it helps in that regard. But as that fluid is coming in, that fluid has all of these like inflammatory cytokines and things, and it has little neuropeptides that bind to the itch receptors. Well, when you put the hydrocolloid patch on there, it kind of helps absorb some of that fluid. And in doing so, it really helps silence the itch. I swear, you put it on there and you feel the relief almost instantaneously, but it really does help. And then when you go and remove it, you do see this white material, but that's not like pus or anything. It's actually just the exudate on the underside of the hydrocolloid bandage. It turns the bandage white, but oh my gosh, it makes a huge difference. They also sell hydrocolloid band-aids that you could use. Money-saving hack for those of you who like to use a salicylic acid face wash. I've mentioned this product recently. It's what I'm currently using as a body wash, Neutrogena Stubborn and Body Acne. It's a 1% salicylic acid body wash, free of fragrance. It also has gluconolactone, a polyhydroxy acid that is hydrating and gently exfoliates. But don't tell anyone, I've been using this on my face. That being said, be careful around your eyes because in my experience, a lot of people will develop non-specific dry eyelids. They'll be like, why do I have these little fine wrinkles all around my eyes? And it's like, are you using a salicylic acid face wash? And be like, washing around their eyes. It does end up drying out the eyelids, but so be careful with it around your eyes. But this has been great as a face wash as well. So the benefits of salicylic acid in a face wash are it can help unclog pores. It also can help just smooth out the skin surface. It's great for rough and bumpy skin, aka keratosis pilaris on the cheeks. And it's also beneficial for seborrheic dermatitis as well as hyperpigmentation. So many benefits to be had from using salicylic acid either in a face wash or leave-on form. Face wash or body wash, I'm sneaking it on in. You get that short contact therapy. Yes, the active ingredients do in fact remain behind on the skin. And that being said, it ends up being less irritating than, say, a leave-on product. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for staying to the end. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.